everybody, Mary here, and today's video is going to be all about Summit Lake State Park, just outside of Newcastle, Indiana. So let's take a look at what the park has to offer. So as you enter the park, you can see that there are quite a few different amenities here. There are several different boat ramps. There are actually 2 sections to the campground. There are picnic shelters and things of that nature to take advantage of. And as you can see in the background, the fall in Indiana, it's a gorgeous time to be here. And like I told you earlier in the week, we are staying at a campground at a state park in Indiana, and I wanted to do a quick video on that state park. It's about halfway, maybe not quite halfway, between Muncie, Indiana and Newcastle, Indiana, just off of State Road 3. And so we've really enjoyed our time here. It's the first time I've ever been to this campground. Phil has actually been to the state park before, but I've never been here. I was really pleasantly surprised. So wanted to take you around, show you a little bit about the park. Now, I do want you to know that we had made original reservations for just this weekend when we first decided to come here. Then our plans changed and we decided to come actually last week and spend the whole week. So we had to do 2 different campsites because the one site that we had for the weekend was not available for the week, and the one that was available for the week was not available for the weekend. So we're going to show you 2 different site areas that we're going to be in and give you a look at Summit Lake. So this is the first site that we're in. This is site number 69. It is at the furthest back of the campground, but it's in this lovely wooded setting. It is a pull-through site. There aren't a ton of them, but it is a pull-through site, and it has just beautiful surroundings. So as I said, our first campsite was in that wooded area, and I did make a mistake. That's campsite 39, not 69. But anyway, campsite 39 was in the woods, but that site wasn't available all week. Neither was this one. So anyway, we moved halfway through, which was kind of fun. And this is also a pull through. And it is right next to the second bathhouse, which is really great. But you can see that there are much less trees here, but this is a really long pull through. I think they had it estimated as 100 feet, which is probably right because that's 41 feet of RV plus truck and lots of space in between. But this is the second site that we came to, and this one is site number 64. We really like it as well, really convenient to the bathhouse. Again, there is water and electric for every site, and you are right, easy pull out for the road as well. So in this area of the campground, there are 2 bathhouses that are very centrally located. So this one here has 3 sinks. We have 4 toilet stalls, one of which is handicapped, and then down here we have the shower area. There are 3 showers. 2 are for just standard, and the third is a handicapped stall. They do have, as you can see, there's tile all around them. This one does have bars for safety. There are shower curtains in areas where you can get dressed. And this one doesn't have any kind of a bench in it, but it does have hooks to hang your things up. So these are the shower houses at the state park. And I just wanted to give you kind of a view of this campground. So there are 2 sections to this to the state park campground. This is Campground A, and Campground B is over in that area. But it's a long, narrow campground. So there is 1 road in, which you can sort of see right over there, it goes that way. And then there is 1 road out, and it just really circles around. But the reason I wanted to show you this is because this area, the largest area of this particular campground, as you can see, not a ton of trees in the actual campsites. Lots on the perimeter, but not a lot in the campsites. There are a few pull-throughs, maybe 4 ish, I think, I'm thinking. But when you go this direction, which is behind the last bathhouse, which is where we are right now, it is a very wooded area, and I'll take you back there and show you that as well. So I thought I would just go ahead and show you this wooded area as I walk back to the campsite. So here's one campsite. This is a back in. They are all gravel. They have electric and they have water. There's no sewage. There is a dump site available, so you can dump, but there's none at the sites. Each site also has a picnic table, as well as they have a fire pit provided for you. So I mentioned earlier as we were coming into the state park that there is a lake. Obviously, it's called Summit Lake. So here's one part of that lake. It's actually a really good sized lake, and they do have boat docking capabilities, which we saw that sign when we were coming in. And you can see right here, this is one of the docks, and this is the one down at the back end of the campground. So when I mentioned earlier that the campground has two parts, one is less trees and one is a very wooded area. Well, this one is down here in this really wooded area. And it also includes this fishing pier. And you can actually dock your boats right up here next to the pier once you put it in. And it's really nice. And here is going up there to the campground. So you can see that motorhome parked right there, kind of center of the screen right now behind Phil. And that is where that site 39 was that we were in during the week last week. So here's just a beautiful view of Lake Summit. And it really is just a pretty place to be. So now we're on the opposite side of the campground. So those trees that you see in the background there, that is actually the campground. You can zoom in and see those just a little bit. In fact, the dock that I was standing on just a little while ago is right over there. And so that's the boat launch from the campground area. But there's also one over here that's actually a little closer. You're going to come to this boat launch before you get to the campground. And that launch is right here, and makes it really easy to get your boat in. And all the way around the lake, when accessible, there's just some really great green space. Up on this hill, you can see that there are built-in grills and there are picnic tables, so there's plenty of space for you to just come out here, bring a picnic lunch with the family, and be able to enjoy the beautiful lake and the scenery. There are a couple of islands that sit out in the middle of this lake, and this is one of them, and that island's called Goose Island. And every morning you can hear the geese flying in and out of that island. It really is an amazing thing, and I'll be quiet here so you can hear them. There you go, Goose Island at Summit Lake State Park. Now, directly behind this boat dock, when we turn in the opposite direction, you'll see this little building right here. And this is a bait and tackle shop. It's currently not open because we are at the end of the season. So we're here Halloween weekend, and really the season ended last week. So the bait and tackle shop is not open, but typically you can get obviously bait and tackle there, but you can also get snacks, ice cream, things like that. You can also rent boats here, which is really nice as well. So here are the boats that I mentioned that you can rent. So there are canoes available, there are rowboats, there are flat bottom boats. If you have your own trolling motor, you could bring that as well. And they also have paddle boats. And again, during the season, you can come and you can rent those by the hour or by the day, which is great activities for you and your family. So after a very rainy week here at the campground, Phil is finally able to come out here today. It's a beautiful, sunny, clear fall day. It's a little cool, a little breezy, but he finally gets to do a little bit of fishing without having to fight the rain.
Little tiny.
So on around a little further beyond that boat docking area that I showed you and the campground is also a beach right here on Lake Summit. So obviously not a lot of beachgoers today, with the exception of some of the geese from Goose Island. But it's a really nice beach during the summer. It's a great place to bring the family over to swim. There is no lifeguard on duty, so you're certainly at your own risk, but it's a beautiful area and a nice beach to take advantage of. Also right here by the beach, they do have a concession stand that's open during, summer, during the summertime, certainly not here during the fall, but you can take advantage of that. There's also a lot of green space up here with picnic tables again for you and your family to take advantage of. And there's even a volleyball area if you want to get a game of volleyball going. Another really nice aspect of Summit Lake State Park is that there are a lot of hiking trails that you can take advantage of. This one's right here near the beach area, but there's also several over by the campground. In fact, Phil and I took just a little hike on a 2-mile hike trail over by the campground one day during our lunch. So there's a lot of great opportunities to get out and get some exercise while you're here. So we've given you several different views of this lake, from the campground, from that boat rental area and the dock that's there. We went around to the beach, and now we're kind of on the opposite side of the lake. And I just wanted to show you sort of this vastness of this lake. I've seen at least, 5 boat docks. So far that we've seen. There are several inlets that you can go into, and it really is just a good sized lake with a total acreage of 800 acres of lake itself. So there you go. There's a little tour of Summit Lake State Park here in Indiana. And I'll tell you, we've really enjoyed our time here and would highly recommend you staying here if you're ever in the Newcastle or Muncie area of Indiana and looking for a place to camp. I would like to give you one kind of tip though. In the state of Indiana, we've had some challenges with the emerald ash borer, which is destroying our trees. So because of that, the state of Indiana and the DNR, the Department of Natural Resources, is limiting the capability of campers to bring in their own firewood into the state park so that it will not bring any diseases on our trees. And we certainly understand that, and we are all for making sure that our trees don't get destroyed. They are making some exceptions to that, and the exception is if you debark your own tree or your own wood prior to coming in, that would be sufficient. But otherwise, they are checking all wood, making sure that it doesn't carry diseases. So obviously, they sell wood here at the state park. Now, it's not just at this state park, it's at all state parks that this is happening in Indiana. And the DNR purchases their wood from a wood distributor in Indianapolis. And I'm going to be honest with you, not a fan of the wood. It says it is all hardwoods, and it is kiln dried. But I'm going to tell you that's not the case, okay? In fact, many of them you can tell are cedar and pine, which are certainly not hardwoods, and they don't burn. You can get a fire started. You can use all the matches and all the paper you can to get that thing going, but I'm telling you, it doesn't get hot enough to burn. So it is a little frustrating, and after hours, not kidding, hours of trying to build a fire, we decided that we were not going to use their wood anymore. We went to a local bait and tackle shop just outside of the state park, bought theirs. It was hardwood. It did burn. And so you're going to pay a little bit more for it off of the state park. But I'm telling you, the frustration level is going to decrease significantly because you're actually going to be able to build a fire. And this is really important if you're planning to use that fire to cook with, because I'm telling you, the wood that you can buy from the state park is never going to get hot enough to do that. And there's going to be so much smoke. I mean, literally, the fire with their wood just smokes and smolders. It never gets a good flame, good hot flame going. So just a little tip, a little expert tip there. If you're going to stay here and you want to build a fire, I encourage you to buy your wood before you get here. So as always, we're Hendrick, home on the highway. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you down the road.